making dudes miss, making guys fall.
That's my job, so that's what I try to do every time I get the ball.
This team last year, we didn't win a game, so it feels great for a bunch of these guys, especially the seniors. They were juniors last year. We wanted to make sure we could get them a win this year.
1, 2, 3, Riders!
That was a taste of some of the reaction from the first full weekend of high school football in North and South Dakota, but now it is time to make sense of it all. So later we're going to bring in Jody Norstead to talk North Dakota, but first, here is Jandy to tell us what went down in South Dakota. But Jandy, let's start with a couple of games that didn't make it to Friday's Varsity Sports live show because they happened on Saturday.
Of course. Well, thank you, Kelly. We were at two big games on Saturday. First one in Rapid City, where the new and improved Lincoln Patriots went to play Central to try to get some revenge on last season's opening loss against the Cobblers. Let's take a look at O'Hara Stadium, where the Cobblers are ready, but Lincoln was ready too. They scored early on their second drive. Tommy Thompson with a little sneak right there. They're up 7-0, and then come right back down the field in the second quarter. Melvin TEAH fumbles on the one, caused by Aaron Iverson, and they recovered, but Lincoln still got up 10-0 by halftime. Let's go to the third quarter now. Cobblers came out running that single wing offense, and look at that, it worked. Jeremy Weidman showed some moves, making it all the way to the end zone, 37 yards, but it was short-lived as Lincoln piled it on. There's TEAH answering with another little touchdown, pulling it out 17-7, and then Hunter Merkley on a punt return, 54 yards. Speed kills. Pats go up and they end up winning the game, 31-7. Let's hear from those Pats after the win.
Finish off well with these guys, but we came back, we battled a hard game with them. They fought really hard, but at the end of the day, we came back with a W, so thank you.
We have a sophomore quarterback. I thought he showed a lot of poise. He really took a lot of we were running long routes and short routes. He took the short routes that they gave him, and, a young guy really likes to throw the ball all the time, and he really was mature about things.
Watch out for that sophomore Tommy Thompson. Let's move down to a good old-fashioned ESD battle in Mitchell, and the Colonels get started early. Who says that Keel Nelson doesn't throw the ball? Hits Peyton Olson in stride. They're up 6-0. Later on, Nelson again hits Drew Kitchens this time, 10-yard touchdown. Colonels up 12-0 going into halftime, and they pick up right where they left off in the third quarter as Carson Max caps off a drive, and they're up 19-0 late in the third. But look at this. Ensuing kickoff, taking back 85 yards for Adam Young, and then before you could catch your breath, Garrett Dieterman runs a punt return back to the house. That's consecutive special teams touchdowns, and all of a sudden the Arrows right back in this game, and then they come back on their next offensive possession. Brandon Flory hits Jake Werner for the touchdown, and the Avalanche continues to fall as Brett Fossum will add to this Watertown run, an 11-yard touchdown run right there, and they continue to roll. Here's the future USD Coyote, Blake Holden, catching a touchdown for 41 yards. What a comeback. 40 points in a row for Watertown, 33 in just the final quarter. 41-19, knock-off #1 Mitchell. Let's hear from the Arrows.
Both teams came up big. Dieterman, DeYoung, then we had a couple deep passes to Werner. We got some good speed on this team, and if we can just get things rolling, we're pretty good.
Halftime, 12-0, we just kept in it, kept it all together, believed in ourselves, and we knew it could happen, and it did.
All right, Jandy. Well, everyone is one game in their season already. So, high school expert, what have you learned so far?
Well, we learned quite a bit, but the biggest lesson to me comes in 11AA, where just 3 of 9 teams actually got a win in week 1, and those 3 teams might not necessarily be the 3 best teams in the state. So just because Huron got the win, Brookings got the win, and Harrisburg got week 1 wins does not mean those are your 3 best teams in 11AA. So watch out. This is going to be a long year in this class. Let's also talk about 9-man football. I think we may have seen 2 of the top teams in 9-man football square off last Friday. Here it is, Woolsey-Wessington. They impressed me in week 1. Got another win in a comeback fashion against Bonhomme, who I think is also a top team in 9-man football. You see the sack right there. Watch out for those 2 teams. They had to go to double overtime before they could figure out who was the best team. They might see each other down the road. Let's also take a look at the Washington Warriors. 34 wins in a row for the Warriors, and you know what I learned? They're still pretty good, Kelly. They got the win, 28-14. You saw some TEAH, 2 touchdowns for him, 3 touchdown throws for Jaden Johansson, and the big question for them, who's going to catch those passes? Well, they found plenty of receivers to do just that. Their defensive line is very impressive. Maybe a little work to be done on the offensive line, but other than that, the Washington Warriors definitely playing the part of a #1 team.
Culture, Washington's always good. All right, thank you so much, Jandy. Well, we're going to move on to North Dakota. And up in ND, we had a rematch of the defending state championship in an epic overtime game that was just in Class 3A. So, Jody, take us to school. Tell us what you learned in the opening week of Varsity Sports Live.
Well, Kelly, I think the #1 thing I learned from that top class is that Bismarck is absolutely, without a doubt, for real. I picked them as my #1 team going into the year, and the Demons validated that by hopping on the bus to Fargo and dominating Davies, a team with really high aspirations themselves this year given what they returned. But Will Madler proved his worth as a quarterback beginning his 3rd year as a starter. He passed for 199 yards and accounted for 3 touchdowns in the 48-19 win. The Demons are the team to beat in 3A. I learned 2 things from the big 2A tilt between Jamestown and Shanley. First off, Shanley's Haley Buckholtz has the ability to take games over. He caught only 3 passes, but turned those into 211 yards and 2 touchdowns. That's staggering. The second thing I learned from this game is that Jamestown has a serious shot to make it to the Dakota Bowl. They have a great defense, and junior quarterback Tommy Falk looks like he had a great offseason and is ready to provide some offensive balance for the Blue Jays. They lost by just 1 point. Another individual that stood out for me on Friday was Hillsboro-Central Valley running back Oscar Benson. A lot of people thought that the ground game would take a hit for the defending state champion Burros after losing their star running back Grant Skager. We said his name all last year, and they also lost 4 of their 5 starters on the offensive line. Not so much though. Benson found the end zone 3 times and showed some great explosiveness on Friday. Kelly, I'm looking forward to Friday already. If you're curious on my thoughts on 9-man, Thompson and New Salem Glen Ellyn still the teams to beat in 9-man.
All right, we'll keep an eye on those 2 this week. Thank you so much, Jody.
You bet.
We are cruising through these 30 minutes, but much more to come here on Midco Sports tonight. Next up, a check-in on the NSIC football scene with Augustana and USF. Stay with us.